Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to another video. So this is gonna be a little bit of a different video than what I usually do. I am gonna be giving my feedback again for Poppy Playtime Chapter 5, but this time I'm gonna be a little bit more straight to the point. I did already give my feedback at the end when I finished it, when I live streamed it on the end video, but I was a little bit like I kind of ranted on for a while about it. So I try to sum it up as best as I can in the pinned comment that I left on that stream. But just to, in case you guys didn't already see it, I'm gonna start with the positives that I liked about the chapter. And I gotta say the animation was really solid, like the cutscenes and stuff like that. They were really, really good. I expected that because the previous chapters all had really good cutscenes. Performance on the actual chapter itself was good. It wasn't like laggy or stuttery like the chapter 4, but it was extremely buggy. Like it was really buggy. If you guys didn't catch my live stream, the part 2, there were some issues when I was in one of the sections of the game where I had to reload a couple of checkpoints for it to load in the stuff that I needed to progress the story. It was one of those puzzles that you needed the numbers to input in the passcode, but the thing is the numbers on the pieces of paper weren't spawning at all. So I didn't have the full passcode. Like they weren't spawning in the places that they were supposed to. So I had to reload the checkpoint a couple times for it to spawn in, and it was a bit of an hassle. Like I thought I was going crazy because I thought it was me that just couldn't figure it out, but it turns out it was the game. And yeah, I was on that for like a while, for like 45 minutes. It was really annoying, but yeah. The stuff that I liked was the animation was really good. The performance itself was really good. I wasn't lagging or anything like that or stuttering, but like I said, it was buggy. The art style, like the design of the monsters themselves, was really good. I actually enjoyed that a lot. I like how each character is like very unique from each other. Like they're all different. So that is really nice to see. I did like I did like a few of the new characters they introduced. Not all of them because there wasn't a lot to introduce, but the problem is that every time they introduced a new character into the series, they're just immediately either dead or they just don't show up anymore. And majority of the time is they're dead. Every time they introduce a new character, they're dead. So like Huggy Wuggy was introduced in chapter 1. He was presumed dead for a while. We didn't see him again for a couple of chapters. Mommy Longlegs was introduced in chapter 2, dead, you know. Chapter 3, Catnap was introduced, dead. And not even just the main monsters, like the main bads that you fight throughout the chapters, even just the side characters, that you meet throughout your journey through the factory. Like Dowie was supposed to be like he wasn't a side character. He was more like sorry guys, I got something in my eye. He was more like a side character. He was a side character, but he wasn't at the same time. But it's kind of weird. I think it was like a bit of both, like a mix of both. But either way, we got introduced to him. I thought he was a really cool character. I would have loved it if he stayed, but he did. he got killed. So it just keeps repeating and repeating, and it's not the greatest thing. But like I said, the design of the characters themselves were really good. I enjoyed them quite a bit. Even though there wasn't that many introduced in chapter 5, I will say that it was decent. It was like they were decent and it was cool. Now, honestly, that's probably all I can say positively about the game, of the chapter. But actually, there was a couple more things that I did enjoy. Actually, some of the levels were actually fun. In my opinion, I enjoyed the tea party area with Lily Braids or whatever her name is. That was actually kind of cool, and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. It wasn't like the greatest thing ever, but like I said, there wasn't a lot going on in this chapter, and there wasn't much positive to say about it. And I guess this is probably one of the only things I can positively say about it was the tea party area was cool. I really did enjoy the Huggy Wuggy flashbacks. It was nice to get that lore of what happened to Huggy Wuggy back then. And I'll touch more on that later, actually. And I guess the part where Huggy Wuggy was chasing us and we had to put those batteries in to unlock the door where we first meet Lily Lovebraids. I thought that was pretty cool. Like where we had to distract him with the projectors. That was actually kind of fun. I actually enjoyed that. But I guess that's probably where my positive outlook of the chapter stops. Now I'm going to go here and talk about the negatives, the stuff that I didn't like. First of all, there was way too many puzzles this time around. I get Poppy Playtime has puzzles and all that, and they're supposed to be difficult to solve and all that, but holy moly did they turn it up in chapter 5. I don't think chapter 4 or even 3 had this many puzzles. I don't think so. Chapter 5, every section you go into has a puzzle, and it drives me crazy because it just feels like you're going from one puzzle to the next. Every section too, man. Every section, there wasn't enough like exploring that you could have done. Now, granted, there were some side areas that you could do, but there wasn't that many. There honestly wasn't that many. I didn't see that many side areas they can go to. Maybe I was just blind and didn't find them, but there wasn't that many. It was just really, there was just too many puzzles, man. There was too many puzzles. I didn't enjoy that. It just felt like a chore going from one area to the next. And the fact that the puzzles were really hard this time around, I spent an ungodly amount of time trying to solve. Not all of them. Majority of them took me a while to solve, but some other ones were easier than the others. It just, man, they turned it up a lot this time, and I didn't enjoy that at all. It was just not fun going through all those puzzles. And another thing too is this chapter felt a lot more like filler, and I don't know why they decided to do that, because I honestly don't know why they made it so much about filler. Now, I did say a couple of things that I want to share. I'm going to grab them right here, right now. But yeah, this chapter was a lot of filler. It was mostly filler, and I don't know why, but it just felt like it wasn't a true continuation of the previous chapter. Chapter 4 had a lot going on. It talked a lot about Doey's past, what made Doey the way he was, which is, I think, why I liked chapter 4 a lot, because when they introduced Doey, they talked about his past, they talked about what made him the way he was, and even the tapes and flashbacks were explaining the struggle that he had inside with having 3 personalities within him. You don't get that at all in chapter 5. They introduce new characters, but they don't talk about any of them or how they were the way they were. But I guess they weren't like main characters or anything. Doey was around quite a bit, but even so, I still don't know much about the prototype. And he's the big bad of the entire series, and I don't know much about him at all. Like how he was made, what made him the way he was, who created him. I don't know any of that. And if I wanted to know any of that stuff, I would have to like look it up and discover the lore myself online. It's just a shame that they don't do that in the game. Now, another thing too was that this chapter wasn't scary at all. It was not scary. I don't know what it was. I don't know why they stopped making horror in these chapters, but it just isn't scary anymore. And I don't know. I think what made chapter 1 really, really good, and why people loved this so much, was because of the eerie vibe. When you first walk into the factory, you get like these chills when you first walk in, because like the place is abandoned, it's haunted. That the toys are alive and that they're walking around and they killed everybody in there. Like, it's a very unsettling environment that you walk into. It's Like, and I think the difference, like what happens in chapter 1 was what made it really popular. Like, for example, just the one area where you see Huggy Wuggy on his stand. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be like a guard or something in that area for the children. I don't know. I'm not sure. I heard that he was supposed to be a guard or something. But yeah, there was a Huggy Wuggy statue in the lobby, and then when you leave that area and then you come back, the statue is gone, and then you know that he got up and walked away. So like, it was stuff like that that was really cool and made it unsettling, and it was just a creepy vibe. Chapter 5 didn't have any of that. It didn't have any of that. It's just a couple of critters walking around here and there, and like, it isn't the same. I think they need to go back to horror. It's not scary anymore. I don't know what's going on. Chapter 1 was creepy. Chapter 2 was a bit scary, but mostly creepy as well. And then chapter 3 was a little bit scary because, it had that one, section with the teacher and everything, and there was a couple of creepy stuff going on. But like, chapter 3 was good because it, like, I remember even from the trailer, like, it had these like a couple of times in the trailer there was you could hear kids wailing in the background, screaming, and it was just chilling hearing that stuff. It was like bone chilling. You can hear children like screaming and wailing. It was just bad. Like, it was really good, and bad in a good way. Like, it was really cool to hear. Chapter 5 didn't have any of that. I don't know if chapter 6 is gonna be good or not. We don't know that. But I'm hoping when they release it, they go back to that horror, and they try to make it the way that chapter 1 was. Chapter 1 was really good. There was a reason why people love this so much. The chase sequences, which I will get to also, the unsettling environments that you're in. You walk into this factory and you know that it's like haunted. Like, it not haunted, but like, there's a bunch of murderous toys walking around because like, it's like, the game tells you that. And it's just a shame that we don't like get that in 5. Now, another thing too that I was going to talk about is I think chapter 4 was better than 5 in my opinion. Chapter 4 had more likable characters than 5, and it had a nice blend of puzzles and gameplay. Chapter 5 didn't have that. Chapter 5 was mostly just puzzle. No horror, just puzzle, and not a lot of storytelling. It didn't even have that much lore in it either. Like, granted, I did miss a few tapes and stuff like that and files, but it didn't. Even the ones that I found still didn't tell me much. And I still think chapter 3 was the best chapter out of all the 5. 1 was really good. I still think 1 is probably one of the best, but I think 3 tops it, honestly. It's so good. It's so unsettling. It's creepy. It's scary. And I believe it's also longer than 1. So it's just like, it's just a shame that I think Mob is like kind of losing the story a little bit, or like losing their identity a little bit. I heard that the developers, the original creators and directors of chapter 1 left just before 3 got released. I think that makes a lot of sense now. It's starting to make sense because I think the quality is dropping quite a bit. And as more chapters get released, 3 was good, and then 4 came out and it was okay, and then 5 is just not. I didn't like it. If I had to give it a score, I would probably give it a 6 out of 10. The only thing that really holds it up is the animations, the art style, and a couple of cool scenes here and there, but that's about it. And performance. That's literally it. This is mostly just filler. It's mostly just filler. I didn't really enjoy my time with it that much, and I'm gonna go back to the chase sequences. There's a lot of chase sequences in this chapter. That's another negative that I have to give it, is the fact that there's so many chase sequences. Like, almost every scene was a chase sequence. You're getting chased by Huggy Wuggy so many times, and the first two were cool. Like the first two were fine, but then it gets to a point where it's just, oh my god, okay, I get it, enough. And I guess the another part that I have to say is during these chase sequences, oh my god, during these chase sequences, they decide that this is the best time to introduce a new game mechanic. I don't know why. Like throughout the game, they show us how to make these how to open these different doors and use these different hands and stuff like that. That's the game's way of teaching you how to play. But they decide during a chase sequence that that's the best time to unveil like a new game mechanic. It's just so annoying because I died so many times through my playthrough because of this. And after a certain amount of time, after a certain amount of deaths, you don't feel the thrill of the chase anymore, and it loses a sense of like fear. You lose your sense of fear in the chase because by the time you finally get it figured out, you're just like, oh my god, please let it be over already. It's done. Like it's just, please just let me finish this already. Like it's not even fun anymore. I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to unveil new game mechanics during the sequences. What they should have done is unveil it before the chases, throughout the game, unveil the new game mechanic. And then that way when the chase comes in, like when you finally start getting chased, then by that time you already know what you need to do, and then you can have it flow throughout your gameplay. And then that way you can still, that way you can finally put your skills to the test and use it. And then, you still get that adrenaline rush from getting chased, you still get scared from it. They didn't do that. They decided to show off their new game mechanics during the chase sequences. And I had to figure out along the way how to do it while getting killed multiple times. After like 5 deaths, I finally figured it out what to do. And then by that time I was like, oh, all right, cool. I finally did it. It doesn't have its sense of purpose anymore. And I think that's what's really holding this chapter back is a lot of these negatives. And I don't know if anybody else feels the same way that I do, but I haven't really seen that many feedback videos on this chapter. I've seen a lot of people playing it, but I haven't seen a lot of people giving their feedback. And honestly, this is mine. I'm just gonna put it straight up right now. The positives: the art style, the design of the characters, the performance of the chapter. It actually ran well. The I would say also the positives for this is man, I'm struggling to find the stuff. I guess the animation too, yeah, and a couple of cool sections here and there. Those are the positives. That's all I can think of. The negatives: too many puzzles, too much filler, not enough lore to discuss what's going on. Chase sequences weren't as fun. There was too many of them. Unveiling new game mechanics during chase sequences. There wasn't enough cool characters. Like, there were some good characters here and there, but they weren't as memorable as, any other ones that they've showed off before. And the story just wasn't really that good. I gotta give credit to them. It's consistent with the previous chapter. It's at least it flows kind of well, but the story isn't getting any better. It's kind of getting a little bit ridiculous at this point. We're 5 chapters in, and I don't know how much bigger this factory can get. I really don't. There's no way that this factory could be this big. It's just, I don't know if it's possible or not, but it just feels ungodly big. Like there's mines that we went through. There's a whole freaking prison, an orphanage, a ginormous factory with like where they make the gas and shit, like an incinerator room where we killed Mommy Longlegs or whatever. I don't know. It was like that whole furnace room, Dewey's safe haven and shit. There's just so much. And then we went even deeper in this chapter to like this weird ass place. I don't know I don't even know where we were. That's crazy. The fact that we've gone this long, I don't even remember our original objective when we first walked into the factory. That says a lot. I don't even remember the original objective. I think it was to save the children or something like that. I don't know. I don't even know if we're an ex-employee or not. I don't know our character at all. I'm hoping by the next chapter they shed a little light of who we're playing as. But I think we're supposed to be like an ex-employee coming in to save the kids. I don't know. Either way, those were my thoughts. I like to say though, the Huggy Wuggy flashbacks were really cool. That was probably another one of my personal favorites of the chapter, was playing as Huggy Wuggy and finding out what happened to him as a toy. My theory is that when the first memory of him waking up was when was him first waking up as a toy. Like that was his first time waking up as Huggy Wuggy. I think that's my theory, like, because he starts looking at his hands like he doesn't recognize them, and then he starts grabbing his head, and he's like, "This is." He basically he says it with his body language. He's like, "This isn't my body. Like, what is this? What am I?" I think that was his first time waking up as a toy, and I thought that was really cool seeing what he went through during the experiments back then, and how angry he was killing the other toys, and how angry he was at the employees. I thought that was really cool, and you know, it's nice to see them going back to that and reminding us that the toys are children. It kind of, they lost that a little bit in this chapter, but they showed some of it in the flashbacks. But then again, when they introduce Giblet and Chum and all that, you don't remember that there's children inside because they act like adults, like they talk like adults. I don't know if it's because they've aged finally mentally in their bodies. I don't know what's going on, but they talk like adults and you forget they're children actually, you know? So it was cool seeing the Huggy Wuggy flashbacks. I thought that was nice. But that's as far as I can say. I honestly think this chapter was a bust. It wasn't that good. They could have done better. And overall, I just feel, I don't know. I feel like I'll still play chapter 6. I'll check it out when they release the trailer for it, and when they show some screenshots, I'll consider it. I honestly thought this one was going to be really good because the prototype was finally being unveiled, but I was wrong. Like, I was dead wrong. It wasn't that good. I don't know. Lily, the braids lady, she was introduced for the first time in this chapter, and she's already dead. Like, I feel like they just introduce characters just to kill them off, you know? Like, it's like I said earlier in this video, every new character they introduce, dead. Doughy, dead. Mommy Longlegs, dead. Huggy Wuggy, presumed dead for 3 chapters. It's like, and now Lily Braids, I thought she was a really cool character. Would have been nice to see her a little bit more, and then dead. She only had like, 5-10 minutes of screen time, and then she was dead. And another thing too is the prototype is the big bad of the series. We only see him on screen for like 5 to 10 minutes at most. Like, his full body is on screen for like 5 minutes at most at the tea party, and then that was it. You know, we didn't see much of him. I mean, we saw him in the chase in the train scene, but we're running from him, so we don't get to look at him often. It's just, you know, one of those things, you know, like, I think some characters were underused. You know, they had a lot of potential to continue on, and they're just now gone. I don't know how many more characters they could create at this point, but we'll see. They seem to be really, I like the fact that they all are unique though. They all have really cool designs, and their names are really cool too. Like, they have some decent names here and there. I mean, but then again, there are some that aren't so unique, like Chum and Giblet. You know, these are just random names. Like, you know, the names like Huggy Wuggy, Kissy Missy, Mommy Longlegs, Catnap, these are really cool names that they came up with for these characters. But then they start coming out with Giblet and Chum and Lily Braids. I mean, Lily Braids isn't even that cool of a name either, but you know, it's better than Chum and Giblet. I don't know. I feel like the quality is dropping a lot. So I know this video went on for a bit, and yeah, I just wanted to get my feedback, but that's all I have to say about this chapter. I don't know. Maybe I'll play chapter 6. I don't know yet, but I didn't enjoy this one. We'll see how it goes. I most likely will play it because, Poppy Playtime is still really cool. I enjoy it. I may even revisit chapter 1 just to see what made the original so good and why this series got so popular. But yeah, that's the end for this video, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. This was my feedback video of what I think about Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.